All right. Well, good. So we'll jump into the discussion. We'll kind of get going. I'm not going to put you on the spot as whether you finished it or not. I think that even just listening to the video of his TED Talk is really worthwhile. And I know we posted that in several places, and even it's within the course as well too, in module 10, I think. And so hopefully you've at least listened to that and kind of have a feel and idea of this book that we'll be discussing today. But I definitely want everyone to contribute to the discussion. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your opinions and your ideas. And this is different than our study groups in that just open discussion. And I'm hoping that you'll talk more than I do, that we can get your thoughts and ideas more. Okay, so Idier, I don't know if that I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but you there, Idier? Torres?
Yeah, I am here.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it's just the right way to speak my name. It's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, we got it right. Excellent. All right, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. And so I was explaining a little bit of the kind of how this works while you were getting your mic set up, but we're going to have everyone their microphone open. So if you have something to say, definitely contribute. This is an open discussion for our topic today. So feel free to share your thoughts and opinions and ideas as we go along, okay? All right, so, and let me know in the chat box or something if there is something. I think the mute is up to you. I think I've unmuted everyone, so if you're muted, it's kind of your choice to be muted. If you're trying to unmute yourself and can't, let me know so that I can adjust that. All right, excellent. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump into this. The way that the Zoom meeting platform works is sometimes I can't see all of you at the same time as doing full screen mode with the presentation that I have or the PowerPoint that I have. And so I might jump back and forth. So sorry about that if it's a little hard to kind of follow, but we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to share with you what I have and we'll jump right in. All right, so I'm going to get all of you set up here. Make sure I have the chat box open. And I think you can move around your videos and your things so that if something's in the way, go ahead, feel free to move it around. All right, okay, so our book club book for this month is Start With Why by Simon Sinek, and Natalie was the one that recommended this one. What did you do? You had some kind of
leadership coaching. So what happened is that some of these partners and senior managers at my firm is going through a 1-year intensive.
Okay.
What we call the Result Center Leadership Coaching, or CL coaching.
Okay.
And the reason that we are going through this is because leadership nowadays is not the same as leadership 10 years ago. You know, it's not the carrot and sticks leadership anymore. Like it's not rewards and punishment anymore. It's more like how do you motivate, how do you coach, and how do you guide people through the process and motivate them. So I find that our training and Simon Sinek way of saying things is very in line. So that's why you know, that's why I recommend it to you.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I found a lot of good insight with it. It's obviously the TED Talk is something that I love and have reviewed quite a bit with our students and things. So it was fun to dive a little bit deeper into this concept and understand a little bit more of what the points he's trying to get across. So
Yeah.
Kind of fun to dive a little deeper. And I'm sure you dove really deep in that leadership conference.
Well, we kind of did, and then we had a lot of team meetings, and we tried to use some of those principles in our daily work life, and how do we treat the staff, and how we handle certain delicate situation.
Okay.
So it makes sense, but even for our firm, I don't think that we actually on the marketing front, or even on the HR front, I don't think we have that why very clear.
It's easier said than done, right?
Exactly.
It's easy enough to understand, but then to actually apply it takes quite a bit of work.
You know why? Because I think we as human beings, we are a bit lazy, in a sense that if you really want to know your why, you really have to sit down and brainstorm and think about it very hard.
Yes.
And we are just in the mode of as accountants, we are, and auditors, we are more in the crisis management mode. We just run after deadlines. We don't take the time to go back to sector one, where we plan, we think, we be creative.
Yes.
So we were just like running after deadlines, trying to get work done, not try to put the fire out. Right. So that's why if we take and not every of my partners are young. We have a lot of senior partners in their 60s, 70s. So that's why to sit down and start with why, they would be would be difficult for them.
Yeah, they're not in that habit or in that practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, definitely harder said than done, or done than understood, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to be aware of, so that we can start kind of working towards that ideal.
Yeah.
All right. So as I was reading this, it was interesting because I could see both examples in personal life and professional life. So you could see definitely how it applies in even just a personal life. He comes from it as more of a company and a business standpoint, but I kept hearing a lot of the whys of your personal life and your family life and your relationships and things like that. So as I was going through it, so this is a picture of this summer. This is my husband, and I have 4 little boys, and we have this why in our family. Kind of the why of what we do is that we do hard things. So there's kind of this motto in our family: we do hard things, we fight for good, and and that's part of our company culture, our family culture, and so that's the why we were coming from. And so as we were up in Oregon visiting family, my husband built this structure behind us here.
Wow.
It's a Ninja Warrior course. So I don't know if any of you have seen the Ninja Warrior challenges, but my kids are really into it. And so we wanted to build off of that and kind of give a lesson or a teaching of that we're warriors and that we're strong and that we can do hard things, and that's kind of part of who we are. And so he built this course in his parents' backyard, and then we got shirts and we painted ourselves and we had this warrior night, and we had a competition on the Ninja Warrior course. And so it was interesting because we had the why of we are strong, we are, we do hard things. And then based on that, the idea came of like, okay, here's something that we can do to reinforce that why. What can we do to reinforce that why? So it became more of the how and the what, drawn from the why. So I was thinking through this, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like that's what I need to do more of is identify more of those whys in our family life, in our personal life, and even just our own personal mottos. I think it doesn't have to just be professionally, because professionally I've got my professional front or whatever, but all of us have both sides to us, right? We're not just our professional front. We have this whole other world that is very much a part of us. Okay, did anybody else kind of feel that that parallel, you know, being able to see the personal side and the professional side, or any thoughts on that?
Does that come along with authenticity? Annie?
Yeah.
Like you are as a person, I have to say I'm bluntly honest, straightforward, and I say what I think, and there's no, you know, beating around the bushes.
Uh-huh.
So being authentic and knowing who you are, and knowing why you do what you do, and you're not like pretending to be someone else. Is that also like, you know,
Yeah, that's absolutely authenticity. Yeah, that's just being authentically you. And like you say, it does take time and focus and kind of inward thinking to identify who you are and where you know, why you're doing what you're doing.
yeah.
And so coming from that place of why definitely allows you to be more authentic in the world. Absolutely.
Yeah, and in the leadership training, authenticity, as executive, that is some quality that's lacking right now in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
And in the business world, and it is something that's recommended, because a authentic leader is someone that people are more likely to trust.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that it's interesting because in the business world, we kind of pretend like our personal life doesn't exist, right? It's just all business, and not, you know, we don't think of everyone as having their own family and friends, and, you know, and that this outside world too. And I think that I think the world is getting a little bit better at kind of, I don't know, I guess it depends on your own personal experience, but being able to see how both complement each other. When you're happy, you know, when you have good, when you're happy and content in your work life, it carries over, and vice versa.
That's true.
Yep. So that's good. So anyway, and professionally, and I hope that this message is being portrayed clearly, and that's always the challenge, that actually being able to communicate it clearly, what the why is. But here at Pronunciation Pro, our why is that your voice matters. Your voice is important, that everyone's voice is important, and everyone's voice is equally important. And we want to hear your voice. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to share why I joined Pronunciation Pro, a little bit about my story.
Yeah.
So actually, I lost my job 3 months ago, about the end of October last year, and I am still on job hunting. Okay. My professional actually would be a very specific area. I'm an IT guide doing something called master data management. And because of that specific nature, there's not that many jobs in the market. IT got a lot of different jobs, but my specific professional is very rare, and there are quite a lot in the US, but not in Europe. And I have no working permit in the US. So even someone invites me to go to the US, I cannot do it. I just had a friend in the US just want me to join them, but I have no idea how to do it. I can hardly apply the H1B, H1B visa, etc.
Right.
And so I still struggling on my job hunting in Europe. And then actually I was, just introduce a little bit myself. My name is Thomas Wu. I was from Hong Kong. Actually, I originated from Hong Kong, and I raised up in Hong Kong for the most part of my life. I spent my time in Hong Kong, and 6 years ago, I relocated to the UK and then start my own company in London. Mm-hmm. And then I based on my experience and also my expertise on that master data management process, I try to land for some contracting position in London. And actually, things doesn't goes well. And then for the last 60 years, I only work in a couple of companies for my clients in London, and then I have to go a lot of different countries, say for example the Netherlands, in Germany, and also I am now applying another contracting position in Paris, but I hardly can land any good job in the UK or in London.
Okay.
And I review myself and think that it is because I didn't do it very well on my communication, and because UK is an English-speaking country anyway, and I have a very disadvantage in comparing with my peers or whoever I talk with, and when I do my recording, so last time when I did a telephone interview, I recording, so before I joined pronunciation, I really hate myself. I hate my voice, very, very much. And then I just Google in YouTube how to improve my pronunciation, whatever. I just do a lot of different exercise on YouTube, and then I happen to find that, Annie, your pronunciation poem may help me. So I just jump in and join maybe just before Christmas, something like this. Now, I am very happy to be presenting in the way that is not like before. I think you can clearly, at least, hopefully, know what I'm saying. And before that, I just like this. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, something really, really hard to understand, and I cannot slow down because,
I think that confidence has definitely been built as you've been going through the course. Is that right, Thomas?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So because if I just lost my job, and days after day you will feel very upset, and
that's
the spirit and mood, you never know when the opportunities come. So I have to arm up myself to become more,
and you're doing exactly the right thing. So you're getting that education, you're getting that training, and that's good. And hopefully as you were finding something, hopefully that communication of why we're doing what we're doing, not just that we do pronunciation training, but that we care about your voice and that your voice matters. And you touched on that confidence piece, and that's a big part of the why, is because we see a lot of our clients and students here at Pronunciation Pro struggling with that confidence because of that communication, that communication barrier and the struggle in the communication. So as you're able to get that confidence, you're able to use your voice more, and you'll be able to fulfill your life, mission and purpose so much better. So that's really why we're doing what we're doing here. The online program, the way we do it and everything, that's just the how and the what. But the why is really central to hearing your voice and getting that confidence. And it sounds like that's what's happening for you. So that's awesome, Thomas. All right, okay, I want to hear from, let's see. Is there anybody that wants to kind of read or tell us about the golden circle? Who can kind of help us understand the golden circle? David, are you familiar with the golden circle here?
Look, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't read the book, but I read a review, and the person who was talking about the book, he talked about this golden circle. So I kind of have an idea.
Okay, so explain to us, kind of help us understand a little bit what you got from that.
Yeah, okay. So why is the essential key. So it's where you have to begin in. So you have to know why you want to do something. You have to have this clear in your mind. So it's like the basis. So why? How it's I think it usually comes when you know why. Because sometimes when you want to do something and you don't know why you want to do it, maybe you also don't know how you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, usually not how you can do in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do, like, the way
Mm-hmm.
you can do that, the way that you can achieve your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's much clearer, but
Yeah, the how is
and
kind of hard to explain difference between what and how, but that how, yeah, it's how are you
yeah,
going to accomplish the why. Mm-hmm.
yes, and what is like the thing that you do, the thing that you can do. So
Yeah,
maybe it's your talent. It's like that thing you are good at, that
yeah,
thing that, well, you do.
yeah.
Well, it's not so clear, but
No, it's good.
that's
So that, yeah, that
I
what being kind of the product or the service that you offer. So
yes.
so what's the here's David. What's the what of Pronunciation Pro?
The what?
The what? Yeah, what's the what?
Well, in my opinion, of course, I've been enjoying this course so much. So the what of this course for me is to help people like me, like, oh no, that's the why. The what is
What do
more like,
we do here? Yeah, what do we do here? We're working on English pronunciation and fluency, right? That's
yes, yes,
it's just we're working on English pronunciation and fluency. But when we talk about the why, we're talking about confidence. We're talking about our voice. You know, it gets deeper in us when we talk about
yes,
why.
that's it.
Just hey, I want to learn English pronunciation. That's that outer core, right?
Yes, yes. And how you do is like one of the best ways that you do in a clear way, in a way that is helpful for everyone.
Well,
Because we are different people from different cultures. However, the way that you do that like is helpful for everyone.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I love that we can all discuss and come together and be on this equal plane of it doesn't matter which
yes.
membership or package you're in or anything. It's just come and we discuss and we're all together as just one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I love it. All right, good. Thank you. That's a great explanation of the golden circle. So yeah, he talks about going from the inside out, but most companies and most people and most organizations go from the outside in. They talk about what they do and how they do it, and then sometimes talk about the why, but it's really should be the most successful ones talk about the why, and then the what and the how and the what, are mentioned, but it's not the emphasis. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good. So some other things that he talks about is people buy why, not what. So, they're really kind of connecting with that why. So people buy products that project that image they want of themselves. So it's really about themselves. They're not really buying because of them. We're buying because of us. Can anybody kind of think of an example of products that you've bought that you have, or things that are more project the image that you want? Bongzia, can you think of anything that fits in this category? Do you have some kind of product or something that you've bought, some clothes that you wear or things that you do that kind of help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I also watched the video, and I remember it mentioned such as iPhone. There has the iPhone, Samsung, and the Xiaomi, and there's so many different brands.
Mm-hmm.
But why many people buy iPhone right now, especially some young generation of people, is
Mm-hmm.
because that iPhone is kind of stand for like a you are in the fashion line of the trend of the world. And
Yeah.
the second is that because it's very smart and efficient. So this is also the concept which iPhone wants to let the other people know. And
Yeah.
I think the third is like the technology. Yeah,
Yes.
very advanced technology. So when
Here, real quick, Fangzia, will you turn up your mic or speak a little bit louder? We want to make sure we hear you, but it's a little quiet.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Is this a little bit better?
Yes, better. So just project a little bit more. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So when iPhone, like not people know when they buy protection, it's efficient and also high technology. So people buy these concepts instead of like buy some other. Even though most of them do have the same function as what we need. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They're buying more than just the product. They're buying the image that comes with it. And he uses Apple over and over again in his examples, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably why I relate so much, because if there is one product that I kind of have brought onto my own, it's Apple products. I love Apple products so much. I'm not usually the one at the front of the line, but I definitely, that's a part of how I operate, is how everything syncs together and things like that. So I have definitely bought into that image that Apple is projecting there.
The same as me. So each time when I choose the brand, I always choose Apple.
Yeah.
I really like Steve Jobs because he's the person, to me, he wants to do everything 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And this is how he say all the Apple wants to do. So
yeah.
When I say that, I think I'm also the person who wants to do everything into the 100%.
Oh. I like that. I like that description, that you know, that not only the image that they've projected, obviously, but there's that, what you have picked up on is that they do everything 100%, and that's the kind of person that you are and you want to be. So that definitely proves the point here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Fangzia. Yeah, and people are drawn. So I kind of took this then to a personal level, and people are drawn to others who share a common why. So if you think of it in terms of your friends group or people that you like to, you know, spend time with, you're really drawn to hang out with people who share that common why. Why are you, you know, I think people who maybe are adventurous and they go and they hike, or they have a hiking group, or they like to exercise, so they exercise together with a group of people. That's a common why, because health and nutrition is important to them. You know, it's important to you, it's important to this group. And so when you have that why, you know, why you're doing the what is exercise, right? The why is because I want to be healthy, I want to be strong, I want to, you know, I want to live life with strength. And common people tend to congregate there at a gym together or in an exercise group of some sort. But, you know, you're drawn to people. So being able to identify your why, and like Natalie was saying, and be true to that authenticity of yourself, is going to attract friends and people who have those common whys. And I think it's easier to create friendships when you're not just changing based on who you're with, you know, changing your why based on who you're with, but you're true to your own why, you're doing what you're doing, and then those people that share that will be attracted to you. That's awesome. All right, good. Okay, so he goes into a kind of the biology of the brain and why, you know, what parts of the brain, and this is something that I get excited about. I don't know about any of you.
Me too, honey. Yeah, when you talk about the limbic systems, and then, you know, when you feel something, you can express it by language. It just doesn't feel right.
Yes. Yeah. Here's the first question. It just feels right. Yeah. Yep. It just feels right. And so when we have that, and any of you that want to kind of chime in with your thoughts and ideas, I will kind of start calling on certain people and for different questions, but feel free to jump in at any time. But yeah, so let's see. Idier, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see, I can't remember if you had kind of read the book or anything, but he talks about kind of the this kind of, what he doesn't call it neocortex. What is, he kind of calls it the thinking, or what does he call it?
The limbic system. The limbic system is the one that that control feeling and not languages. The neocortex is what control logics and languages.
Yeah, the neocortex.
The front neocortex here, like. Yeah.
So, Adier, when you were talking about like the limbic system, are you familiar with kind of limbic system versus the prefrontal?
Prefrontal versus
prefrontal cortex. Yeah.
Prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
I think that the prefrontal cortex is this is very important part of our brain, because it is make a difference the animals, for example. This part make us we can speaking and communicate with other persons. The same time, it is important because when I use the prefrontal cortex, I can imagine the other things that can that doesn't exist. Is at the same time,
yeah,
I can plan the future.
Yeah.
I can plan the future and prepare the other things I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's different than animals, right? So, we have that prefrontal cortex where we can plan and we can think and we can project into the future, which is unique to humans.
Yeah, it's true. That's very important because it's the last part of the humanity developed in the history. At the same time, it's the main part of the brain, because in this part, all ideas and the code of the language can decode the message the other person sent me. At the same time, I can prepare the message they can try to send the other person.
Yep. Language is all part of that brain. So you guys are very much using that prefrontal cortex as you're working on your English and practicing that. That is a very, very much a thinking brain exercise.
Yeah.
And the way that we communicate with others and we receive communication and language. Absolutely. So then what happens? What's that limbic system?
I think there's maybe the part is most I can say is the part is most like similar the animal is the other animals have the limbic system. This part is it's very long term in the history. Is the first part of the brain in developed of the humanity. It's not this part is
that what we call intuition? Instinct. Instinct. Yeah.
Instant, but it's important. And sometimes you need to use the limbic system because
I use it all the time, Idia. I use my feeling all the time.
Some person prefer the limbic system that cortex is very different. Because when the person use the limbic system, it's more looks more emotional, less rational. Yes.
So in English, we say go with your gut, or go, what does your gut tell you? And gut is, that stomach, what does your gut tell you? But really it's what is your limbic brain telling you?
Exactly.
What is that feeling? What is that gut feeling? It just doesn't feel right, or it feels, a certain way. And so we make decisions based on that gut feeling typically, right?
So sometimes when you fall in love, you use the limbic system. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't love someone because of this and
goes out the window. And we are in love, and we don't care who knows it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that is absolutely a limbic system function. Yeah. And then what's funny is we kind of have these, it feels right. And we kind of get that impression. And then we try and use our frontal lobe to rationalize why we've made that decision. And so that talks to the what and the how of that golden circle. Because we can't just be like, well, it just feels right. Sometimes some of us can. I think sometimes I've used that. I was like, I don't know why. It just feels right.
Yeah.
But we do make a lot of, decisions that way because rational thinking takes longer. It requires more energy from our brain. And so it's a more, it's a really in-depth process just to use that rational brain. So our limbic system really does help us quite a bit. There's a book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell that talks about that, just kind of those split decisions, split decisions and the way that we make those decisions and how accurate they tend to be.
But your first choice is always right. Almost always.
Almost always, yeah.
But the truth is we need to both the rational and the emotional. We are not only emotional or rational. We are both.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. So let's talk more about that.
Because there are different parts in our brain. One part is more rational, the prefrontal cortex, and the limbic system and the reptilian brain is the more emotional.
But so talk to that feeling of being in love, like you fall in love with someone that could be terrible for you, right? Your prefrontal is saying no.
But there's sometimes when you need to avoid risks, harms, you need to use the reptilian brain. It's not, you don't use the precursors. You need to run quickly and avoid maybe like endure.
Yeah, and I think the limbic system in that reptilian brain is picking up on cues and picking up on things on the subconscious level that our frontal lobe is not necessarily reading. And so we do kind of have to be aware of that. And let's see. Here, let me kind of go on to this where it says when the message goes deeper in the limbic brain. So he's talking about kind of the companies and the marketing messages they're using. But when the message goes deeper in the limbic brain, it aligns with our sense of self and our behavior moves from motivated to inspired. Okay. So it's not just a prefrontal experience where it logically makes sense and rationally makes sense, but that it can go deeper. But when we talk to the why of something, it aligns with that sense of self. It aligns with our values and our principles and those things. And Fangzhi had a great example of that the Apple message aligned with her sense of self of doing something 100%. I thought that was a great example because it definitely, when they spoke to the why of what they're doing, and she could see that Steve Jobs, goes 100% in all he does. That aligned with her sense of self. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. So going back to this other statement here, it says companies start with what and how because that's what customers are asking for. So we're using our frontal lobe to kind of say, okay, well, I'm making a decision and here, I want the what and hows. But then, so that's really what companies start talking to is the what and how, because that's what the customers are asking for. Dragos, are you able to participate?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Good. Okay, go ahead and read this quote, and then I have a follow-up question that I'm interested in hearing from you.
If I would have asked what people wanted, they would have said faster horses. So that's by Henry Ford.
Yeah, do you know who Henry Ford is?
Yeah, so he was an American who created the car, the Ford,
Yep.
the brand.
Yep. Yeah. So he was the inventor of the automobile, right? And
Yeah.
so he's saying if I would have asked people what they wanted in their thinking, they would have just wanted faster horses. But the way that he thought about it was different, you know, and he was able to invent the automobile, which has changed our world. So as we're working with customers and things like that, should we be listening to our customers? Should we go with our limbic brain, you know, what we think and be true to ourselves, or kind of what's the balance there? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's probably a mixture between the two, I would say, or it depends, because let's say if tomorrow somebody's going to come up with an idea that would make living easier or much easier, they would probably make a lot of money off of that, because obviously people want to they want to have their lives a lot easier. So so that would be based on if you have a genuine idea which may pay off in the world, that's going to be your thinking. But and then if you come up with a product, and after a certain stage of implementation, that some customers may complain that something's not right with it, and then you may want to listen to them and change that to make it better for the future.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's interesting, because when I think about it, I think of, well, the why is, like you were saying, make life easier. And, you know, and so he came up with a solution of how and what that was going to look like, that's different than what people were expecting and thinking. And I think that's such a power of our own brain and our own intellect, and why all of our, you know, expertise and talents are important, and why you need to speak up and be able to be confident in being able to share your ideas, is because you may have ideas that are different or outside of the norm that can change things quite a bit. And so if you're true to your why, then those things can come out. I think that the why of, like with Pronunciation Pro, the why is there, but we get suggestions on the what, and, you know, on the how all the time. How can we do it better? How can we make the structure better? How can we deliver our services better? And I love that feedback. I love hearing from our customers and, you know, our students and things like that, because you're the one going through the experience. And as long as it's true to the why, then I'm all about hearing, you know, like I really want to hear and make adjustments based on the needs. So I think that's a good one to kind of be aware of in both. So let's apply it personally with your family or your spouse or your kids. It's, you know, my kids, hey, I want to eat candy all of the time. Okay, that's a suggestion. That's an idea. It's not in line with our why of being healthy and strong and helping you grow, but thank you for your suggestion. You know, so it's not in line with the why, but it's like, hey, how about we go on this type of vacation? Oh, that's in line with our why, because we want to build a strong family and we want to build that connection, and that how that's done can be done in a number of different ways. And if that's how you think that we can do that, then great. You know, let's go ahead and do that. But I think the why comes from us. You know, it has to come internally. And be clear on that. So so there was a big section on inspire versus manipulate. Inspire versus manipulate. Does anybody kind of want to talk to this, you know, the difference between inspiring someone and manipulating them? Thomas, do you have any ideas there?
Okay. From my perspective, inspired is something is not done by force. Okay, and that means you stimulate someone to do something by giving them some hint or some reason so that one can take their experience or their talent in order to get something done or to achieve in a particular goal. And manipulate is something I think is more done by force or is not on the target's own will. Something you have to do it, maybe based on my instruction or my power. So it is a very different, and actually manipulate will be just you just control a machine. Yeah, you just manipulate a machine more than a human being. So the outcome actually it would be the idea of the manipulator instead of something else. There's no innovation, nothing about creativity.
Yeah.
So it's my
good
understanding.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of jump through here, but you're exactly right that the inspiration comes from a better place, a more sincere place, and it's more motivating, right? Manipulation is just kind of trying to get what you want. I think that he talks about kind of this having a sale versus speaking to the why versus kind of have a sale or promotion or lowering prices and things like that. I do think there's kind of a place for both. There's been times where I've kind of had my eye on something and I'm, interested in it. I know it's going to do good things for me, but I've kind of waited to buy it. But then a sale comes and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to, now's the time to act on it. And so I go buy it and I'm so happy I did. And it's been so great. And it's really a great thing. But I probably would have just hemmed and hawed, just kind of waited on it longer had there not been a sale. So I was reading this part in the book and I was thinking, it's not that sales or promotions or anything, in my opinion, are always bad. It's just that you don't want to be so heavy on that you're not concentrating on your why. Natalie, do you have any thoughts on that?
When I read this section or when I listen to it, Annie, it sounds more to me on the management aspect of it. Because with my staff member, if we inspire them to take ownership of a project, then they would work their brown hot sweat labor. Like, they would be here the weekends, they here weeknights, they just get it done. And then whether it will transcribe into their promotion at the end of the year or their remuneration or their compensation, or I take them out for lunch or dinner, that's a external rewarding factor. But if you inspire the staff member to take ownership of what they're doing, then the quality of the work and the devotion are different.
Yeah.
But when you use fear, because manipulation is also using fear, and if you use fear to treat them and to threaten them, if you don't meet the project by a certain date, if you go over budget and stuff like that, then they just do it for the sake of doing it. And they don't really see that it's their file, it's their project, and they have to take ownership of it.
Yes. So in leadership situation, the inspire is 1,000 times more
powerful.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that would be a huge factor. Absolutely. Good. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of scan through this a little bit, but he kind of goes through 3 steps. First of all, find your why, and that does take time. It does take some focus and some thinking of identifying why you're doing what you're doing in your company, in your family, and you personally, and just being able to ask yourself, have I found my why, and you know, how can I find my why? And I think that just takes a lot of internalization and just looking inward. What do you want to accomplish in your life? What is the goal for you? And it's going to be different for everyone and every organization, based on your experience and your, you know, where you're coming from in life. Second step is stick to it. Okay, gaining clarity of why is not the hardest part. The hardest part is the discipline to trust one's gut, like we were talking, trust one's gut or limbic system over outside advice, and stay true to your cause or belief. So definitely, that's the middle zone, right? You get started, you're excited about your why, and then it gets challenging to stick with your why as you have all of these influences coming in. So like Natalie was saying with leadership, that could be quite a challenge, right? Being able to stick with your why of like, okay, we're staying true to why we're doing what you're doing. I really want you to just do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. But I understand that that's not going to be the best. And then the third one is filter everything through your why. So your communication, your actions, your decisions, everything needs to go through that why to make sure that you're in line with it. And because of it, it does save money and time in the long run. Maybe not short term, but in the long term results, it definitely will save time and money if you stay true to that. I'm going to, here's an example that I had of losing your why. So what I think of losing that why. So the why of parenting, right? In parenting, it's, okay, I just want you to do what I tell you to do, right? You kind of losing that why is just, I just want obedience. I just want you to go clean your room. Just do it, okay? Versus teaching the why and coming from the why, you're teaching more of like for them to be motivated intrinsically. So same thing, you know, leadership in whether at home or in an organization is all that same idea, is that contrast between I just need the job done and I'm going to manipulate and just get you to do what I need you to do, and that stick instead of a carrot, versus taking a step back. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time up front, but long term it's going to bring such better results. So I find myself losing my why more in parenting than anything else, because man, kids can just test that why.
And you have 4 boys and I have 2 boys, and I understand you perfectly.
Yeah, we get it there. So they're just gonna push that button, and you have to stay strong. Yep. Okay. And I want to stick somewhat more to the time, but kind of talking achievement versus success. So he talks about achievement, you know, is pursuing and attaining the what, okay, and success is being clear in the pursuit of your why. So I think this is, you know, going back to my parenting example, achievement was I got my kids to do what that they need to be doing. We got our employees to do what they're doing, you know, do the assignment or reach the deadline. Okay, success really comes when you've achieved your why. You know, you've really been able to achieve that why. I taught my kids or my employees or my colleagues or what, you know, those people, those that you're over, to make choices based on values and principles, and that can carry them. That has become now their why. You know, we've been able to communicate the why enough that it becomes their why, and they're holding strong to it. Just like Natalie was saying, they're willing to work long hours and they're able to do more and put in that extra effort because that why has come from them now. So that's really that success. You know, we can have achievement, but a success is different. And this is such a great quote. Fangzia, will you read this for us?
Yeah. success comes when we wake up every day in that never-ending pursuit of why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So being able to wake up every day, knowing.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One quick question, because Lori taught me the pronunciation of the word success. Is it success or success? Which one is better or?
So success is kind of success.
Success.
I usually do success. I've heard success with more of that sound, success, but I tend to say it more with an I, success.
Success.
Yep.
Success. Am I correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for interrupting. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. Okay. So yeah, success comes from waking up every day in that never-ending pursuit of why we're doing what we're doing, why we do what we do. And that comes a lot to that the Steve Jobs speech that I have you do in the second half of the program. When you can wake up every morning and be excited about what you're doing, if you wake up too many days in a row and don't want to do what you have to do that day, then you need to change something. And that is really touching back on this concept of why. If you wake up every morning and you know why you're getting up, you have that motivation is coming from that why, and not just I have to go to work, but why you're going to work and what that means for you and what you're accomplishing through that. It can be so much more motivating and help you accomplish more of what you're capable of accomplishing. Okay, awesome. So I'm the last topic here that I felt was very powerful, and this probably just comes from where I am in my my journey. But he talks about differentiation and the root word different. So different is the root word. Different in either your company from another company, or you versus a colleague, or friends and family. Okay, how are you different in differentiating yourself? And he talks about companies and people with a clear sense of why tend to ignore their competitors and don't worry about differentiating. And another thing he says, unstoppable individuals let the competition study them and not the other way around. So that was from Tim Grover. So is anybody having some thoughts on this, how this concept can be applied to you either personally or professionally? Because we definitely look at other companies, or how are we going to be different from them, and kind of looking at that us versus them mentality. And I have never found that to be very motivating for myself. There's that saying that says comparison is the thief of joy. And I find that for myself is when I'm kind of comparing to other people or other organizations, I lose my why. I start focusing more on what other people are doing instead of the why of what I'm doing. And the more I stay true to that why, the more the creativity and the inspiration and the fun comes. Does anybody have any thoughts on this for yourself?
Yes, talking about comparisons, as you said, I think that if you stop looking at yourself, at what you are doing, you stop using your energy, your creative. Mm-hmm. You're creative to improve what you are doing, to do it the best way. And if you make comparisons, you are looking at other people, and it always seems that they are best than you, because you just see the good part, but you don't see that they also struggle to get their things. So I think you have to be focused on yourself, on what you're doing. And if you are like making your efforts, you are making efforts, if you are working hard, you'll be sure that you are doing what you can do. So just be happy, just enjoy that in you, and let other people like enjoy their lives and you enjoy yours. So
yeah. Yes, that's very important. Well said, David. I think that especially within our community of English language learners, it's probably easy to look at other native speakers or other speakers of English and compare, right?
yes.
And say, well, I'm not as good as them. And so you kind of put yourself down here instead of kind of you against you, right? How am I better than I was 6 months ago? Or how am I better than what, how have I improved? And being proud of yourself for what you have accomplished and really looking at yourself and saying, wow, like, look what I've done. I have, accomplished this much. And I did that from consistent effort over time. And I know that as I keep that consistent effort over time, I'm going to keep improving and getting better. And I'm going to keep building on that. And like, how amazing what you can accomplish as you just kind of you against you. And
yes.
we can look at other people and say, oh, that's inspiring. But once we look at someone and say, oh, I'm not as good, or I'm not doing as well, you're right, it steals energy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like how you said that. It kind of steals that energy from you. Does that inspire and help you be better? Like that comparison tends to kind of weaken us. But if we look at it, wow, I really want to be a great speaker like so and so, and it inspires you, then that's what the kind of that's what we want.
Yes.
Yeah. But you against you, I think that's the goal here, is that if you are doing better than you did yesterday, congratulations. I think we all can congratulate ourselves in our own personal journeys where we are. So, and I'm incredibly proud of all of you for what you are doing here and stretching yourself and growing. This is a unique group of people who are striving for excellence and working each day to be better and better. So I love it. Awesome. Okay. And then another quote here. Go ahead, David. Go ahead and read this one for us.
Okay. When you compete with others, nobody wants to help you. But when you compete with yourself, people take a liking to you.
Okay. So I thought that was really interesting that Simon kind of brought that to our attention, is that when we are competitive with each other and with, then there is this resistance that happens.
Yes.
But if we're competing with ourselves and just saying, I'm going to be better every day and I'm working to be better, and I don't have to take you down for me to be better. I don't, need to lessen you for me to be better, but I'm just me against me, and you run your race and I'll run my race, then you can work as a team. And Natalie, it seems like that would be very applicable with the leadership.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And in the leadership, we talk about the power of vulnerability. As is, if you as a leader, and if you show that you are willing to be vulnerable and you don't know anything, you don't know everything, and then you're willing to learn from others. And you're willing to be imperfect and just trying to learn along the way. Then your follower would see that the leader is as vulnerable as the rest of us.
Yes.
And they are more willing to participate. They're willing to help you because they see that you are human just like anyone else.
Yeah. That you're making mistakes and you're owning your mistakes and saying, oh, sorry, I messed up there. Then it makes it more motivating to do the same. I love that vulnerability. I like that bringing that in. That's very applicable. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to ask each one of you this question. Okay, we're going to go down and kind of each have a chance to talk. But what is your takeaway from today's discussion? What is something that from that you kind of, that stood out to you, or something that your limbic brain said, "Woo, that's something to pay attention to," that that kind of pricked something in you, and what can you take away from this and apply in your own life? David, I'm going to start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I learned that, like, that I have to keep straight on my way. Like, even if it happens, something that is not good, but if I have my dream, I have to pursue it. I have to strive to make it true. Never give up.
Yeah, that stick to it, right? Don't give up. Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Natalie, you're up next.
Annie, I came to this meeting not expecting this, but your parenting example really make me think, because we as parents, we live for our kids. Like, our kids are the reason of my living, you know, since I have them. And I would do everything for them. I'll die for them. But it never occurred to me that is my why. But however, the what doesn't really sync with the why, because I always tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And I expect compliance.
Right.
You know, so your example is gonna help me rethink how I should parent my kids.
Oh, good. Good. I've always seen, like, in running my business or organization, I very much see my family as the same, you know, in that same structure. I'm a leader of my family, and I have this organization that needs to, you know, that needs to have systems and function and whys and, you know, all that as well. And so I see the parallels between the two all the time. And so I'm glad that it kind of brought that to your attention too. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the most important work, isn't it? Those kids.
Yeah. And my staff is, you know, if my staff is complaining that I'm a difficult boss, then I said, you know what, you're lucky to be my staff and not my children. Because I'm 10 times harder with my kids.
That's good. That's good. Oh, funny. Okay, good. All right, Jagosh, let's hear from you.
Yes, so I would say, first of all, you have to find your purpose.
Yeah.
So the purpose has got to be something that you like doing. Otherwise, you're going to lose interest in the long run. So if it's something that you like doing, you're going to be able to stick to it and not give up after a while.
Yeah.
And once you're sticking to it, you don't have to just don't compare yourself to somebody else, because that way you're going to keep on getting distracting or whatever the case may be. And you're more likely to put yourself down when you compare to someone else. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That just keep on going and keep working on your purpose.
Perfect. Yep. Excellent. Thank you, Dragosh. All right, good. Okay, Fangzia, what about you? And be sure to talk loud into that microphone.
Yeah, so what is your takeaway from today? I think to me, it's also like think of why before I make some decision. This will help a lot and save lots of time. Yeah, I think an example is before. I'm a financial professional for the banks, and if I'm thinking about like should I do more finance or more accounting, I'm choosing that. Then I go through this like 68 days kind of like a program to do that, and then I find out my real love is like doing the financial stuff. I go back to their CFA program. So it like takes some more time to go through both. But if I know what is my true love and then why do I do them earlier, then maybe I can strictly go to do the certification for the step A instead of doing the CPA. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it can really help us make important decisions, right? If we are clear on our why, then some of those decisions that could be so overwhelming get somewhat simplified. Yeah. Excellent, Fangzia. Thank you. Okay, idea?
Yes, two things. First one is every day when wake up, I need to keep in mind what makes a sense in my life. This is very important. And the second one is, I think they say I need to be more myself. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just being able to be true to yourself and how much further you'll get with that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, and then Thomas.
For me, the first thing I want to emphasize would be that to live out to the best version of myself, not to do something to overemphasize the comparison to others, and keep up every day to do the goal that I set. And my current goal is to land a job, obviously, but it's not to pay too much energy to the past, because sometimes you just keep blaming yourself why I get fired for whatever reason. To be honest, I don't from even to today I don't know why, but you think that you did nothing wrong, and it just comes to your mind and occupies your energy, your time, whatever. But I know that I have to get rid of it, because I have to do the present, to do it right, and it is right why I have to move on. And yeah.
Thomas, can I chip in something?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, please.
You are a very talented IT developer. Okay, that is not a talent that not everyone has, and especially your field is a very specific field that you said not it's very specific. So listen, your why should be like, I am such a talented developer. I have so much to give. I have so much to contribute to whoever that I'm working with and work for. So that is your why. And you want to contribute that talent to people, to the world, to the organization. So then getting the job is just the next steps. So the key is building up in yourself the confidence, knowing how talented and how you are and how much you have to contribute, and that will transcribe into your behavior, your body languages, your communication. And with this pronunciation course, when you're done, you'll be such an amazing communicator. And Thomas, right now you are very clear. Your English is amazing. I can understand everything that you say. So it's the bright future is not far. Just believe in yourself. Your why is in here. Your why is that you have so much to give.
Yes, thank you very much, Natalie. Yeah, I know that the why is not to land for a job, because it's just a media for me to achieve my talents, and I have to go for my living, because I don't have a paycheck for 3 months. It just makes me struggle a little bit, and this is something I know that I have to focus on my talents and how I can help the future client to have their problems sorted out. It is very important. I have to focus on my interviews to work as a consultant to solve their problem. It's not my problem. Okay, so thank you very much, Natalie. Yeah, you give me a very good advice, and I love it. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome, Thomas.
Excellent. Okay, I love it. I love that collaboration and what we can gain from each other here. I think it's very interesting as we go through how everybody kind of picks up on something that's unique to them, because that, you know, again, that limbic brain is sitting there going, okay, what applies to me? What's important in my life, and what needs to be, you know, shifted or changed. And I love that, like with Thomas, he's talking about, I need to stop spending energy on the past. I need to, you know, I need to really not be, you know, focused and bringing my attention there. We didn't necessarily talk about that, but in this moment, in this learning, that's what he identified as, like, this is what's holding me back, and this is what I can change, and this is what I can do different. And so I think that power that we have of getting those answers and getting that inspiration for ourselves as to what needs to be different and how we need to grow and how we need to improve as we take, you know, we're on our own journey. It's us against us. We're not comparing and wasting our energy that way, but we're moving forward on our own journey, and that inspiration will come step by step as to what the next step is. So that's excellent. Okay, you guys, this was awesome. I'm so excited that you all came and that you had so many wonderful things to say. I love your thoughts. I love your ideas. I love your opinions and what you're contributing to our group and to the world. So keep doing what you're doing and go out there and spread a bunch of goodness and speak up and share, okay?
Thank you very much, Annie, for giving us a very wonderful platform for us to share.
Yes, and we'll get
excellent experience.
Good,
yes,
absolutely. Good. I'm so glad you're able to get something from it. Thank you so much for everyone for coming, and have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.